Um, However, early on, I realized that it was all about money because the federal government granted these generous amounts for each case we enforced. And so we stumbled over ourselves trying to get more Title 4D. The Child Support Enforcement Agency was the darling of the circuit court in that we made money for the judge and the court.
The money that's paid to the children or collected for the children as child support money are matched by the federal government, and then there are incentives for different types of enforcement activities, and there are matching funds at state and local levels as well. The judges, each time that they grant or approve, or the friend of the court up someone's child support collection, they're actually padding their own pockets because that comes back to them.
Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, God of Law, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk to you about judicial misconduct. Now, as you saw in the above video, thank you, Cal Rhodes, that's who that was. Um, Child support is not for the best interest of children. It's about federal reimbursement, federal funding. Okay? That's it. It's about Title 42D. Title 42D was enacted in 1975, and it was the law that allowed federal funding to enforce child support. All right. Now, what we have here is a major dilemma. All right, because it's all about the money. Okay, and as you saw within the video, which was expressed by again Carol Rhodes, the whistleblower. Thanks, Carol. I mean, that was the shit. I love her. All right. The Title 42D pays the states a federal reimbursement. All right, that federal reimbursement goes to the state treasury. First thing paid out of state treasury are the judge impersonator salary and pensions. Then the scraps go to the state employee salaries and pensions. That's why child support is so important to them. All right, because they get paid for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, read to you some case laws here um, from some higher courts. Okay, now we do know for a fact, all right, that under the Federal Manual of Child Support Enforcement, child support expedited or judicial hearings are supposed to be presided by an individual who is not a judge of the court. All right. Now, Cannon's law is the code of judicial conduct, which clearly states that a judge is supposed to disqualify himself from a case that he has a financial interest in, or anybody in his household. And obviously, if child support is paying his salary, that means everybody in his household has a financial interest in it. It's how he's putting his kids through college or whatever. All right, but they have a financial interest and they're living high off the hog because there's no such thing as a poor judge. All right, they are making billions. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. It's so important that a judge can't sit in a child support case. Um, the United States Supreme Court has outlawed it. All right, it says that judges and child support probation officials who sit in judgment of child support of cases that they have a financial interest in are too tempted to abuse their contempt powers to jail unsuspecting litigants to extort or extract more and more monies out of them to increase the amount of federal funding and ultimately increase their salaries and pensions by refusing to disqualify themselves from a case where they have a financial interest in the outcome of it. Okay, that's the law. So next time, if you decide to waive your God-given rights under Article 3 of the Constitution, which states you don't have to go to a place of worship. And how do you know it's a place of worship? Because when that man or woman walks in the room, this is all rise, you stand up for them. That's a form of worship. All right. So, and that's also, you don't have to do it under Provision 3 of the New Jersey Constitution. All right. But they're walking in here and giving you the impression that they're judges, and they're not. So, if you know what's out here as far as the law is concerned, if you know your rights, you can exert them. Okay? Ask a simple question. Sir, are you a judge? Well, yes, I am. Well, sir, according to the Supreme Court, you can't sit in this case because you have a financial interest in it. All right? And the law is very clear. All right? So, a lot of these judges, impersonators, they lie through their teeth. All right? Majority of them are criminals. All right? I've met a couple of decent ones, but they're really criminals. All right? So, now, also, there's one of my favorite case laws under Clearfield Trust versus United States. The U.S. Supreme Court stated governments descend to the level of a mere private corporation and takes on the character of a mere private citizen when they deal in privately owned paper. You call it Federal Reserve notes, they call it money, it's not, are concerned. For purposes of suit, such corporations and individuals are regarded as an entity entirely separate from the government. That means any uh, um, judge impersonator who's sitting on that bench, as the Supreme Court says in this case law, all right, is regarded an entity entirely separate from government. It is not a court. It is a private corporation. And being that under the Federal Manual of Child Support, all state agencies have to report to the Federal Agency of Child Support as if it were a private business. All right. It is a separate and private business, and the reason that I believe, all right, the Supreme Court did this ruling was the fact under Article 2. If governments were created to be a benefit, security, and protection of your rights, all right, then this private industry of child support is totally separate. It's not constitutional. It is not constitutional. It is administrative policy. That's what it is. Okay? There is no such thing as a child support law. All right. It's all done by your consent, which I've proven to you and will continue to prove to you. All right. These judges that are putting people in jail over child support, it's a violation of a Supreme Court ruling. All right. They're judge impersonators. It is time to start standing on your rights. You want to shut a judge down? All right. Prove the fact that he has a financial interest in the case and he must disqualify himself from that case in accordance with the Canons Code of Judicial Conduct. That's number one. Number two, all right, child support is a service that is offered from this private corporation. In order for anyone to partake in that service, they must pay for it. All right, so they're accepting money for these services. Okay, that's a service fee. Some states it's 25, some it's 50. All right, but the fact of the matter is they're charging for this service, which means they're accepting money, which means they are a separate entity from the government, as in the Clearfield Trust document. Okay, it's very important for you to know the limitations of government. It is very important for you to know how powerful you actually are. All right. Child support, again, it's federal law. It's Part D of Title 4 of the Federal Social Security Act. All right. It's instilled for cash purposes only. They have gotten so good with it now that it's fluid. Okay. Even the welfare agencies in on it. Okay, because when these baby mamas go down and sign up for that welfare, all right, what they have to do is they have to again uh, sign a waiver and give the support rights. That means the money that the legal father would be paying. All right, that they turn that over to the agency in order to get the benefits that the agency's offering. So that's the trade-off. All right, well, you want benefits from us, you have to give us your support rights. And then they in turn go after the legal father, okay, from the information that she gives. Okay, so there are millions of parameters to child support. You can be free from child support. More importantly, uh, you can shut the government down. And remember, like I've said in another video, if all of you men under the sound of my voice stop paying child support to the courts and start paying to the baby's mother directly, I don't give a fuck how much you hate that bitch. All right, pay her. All right, stop going down to the courts and paying them money. They're getting federally reimbursed for that. Okay, every time they issue a warrant for the obligor's arrest, they get federally reimbursed for it. Every time they suspend the obligor's driver's license, they get federally reimbursed for that. Every time they attach a wage garnishment to an obligor, they get federally reimbursed for that. Okay, every time you appear in one of these administrative hearings, they get reimbursed for it. They are making money hand over foot off of you. It's your ignorance. All right. And as I say, it's an offer. Simply say no. Stop consenting. All right. Tell them to kiss your ass and flip them a bird. Stop accepting their mail. Send it back. If they don't properly serve you, well, diligent effort fails. All right. So you now know that a, federal law mandates that a judge is forbidden from sitting in a child support hearing or case. All right. The Supreme Court has stated that a judge cannot sit in a child support hearing. All right, that's the law. So if they can't be judges, then that means every order which they get federally reimbursed on, all right, that they pass, that they put forth, whether it's default or by voluntary consent, they get federally reimbursed. Now the beauty of it is, and as you read on the film above, all right, it clearly states time standards are a must. All right, and if they don't meet the time standards, they don't get federally reimbursed. All right, they have uh, so much time to do. That's why it's called the expedited process. Expedite means to quick. It means quick, fast, get it done, hurry, 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 hurry. That's the expedited process. All right, they have to get you processed into the system in order to get federal funding. They don't get federal funding. The judge impersonators don't get paid. All right. The child support hearing officers and the all the child support employees and state employees will not get paid. Child support shuts down. That'll shut down a third of the state's workforce because that's where they get billions. And like I said, the state of New Jersey, they're making almost 90 million bucks in child support profit. That money, the judge. Guess what? The judge gets that money first. He gets it before anybody. Even that fat ass double whopper eating Chris Christie gets paid last after the judges. That's how serious it is. When a judge puts you in jail, that's called coercive incarceration, and it is designed to force compliance with the order. All right, pay? Oh, you're not going to pay? I'm going to put your dumb ass in jail, and you'll sit there. And they can only hold you for 28 days, but yet they still get paid for that too. The Burlington County Sheriff, all right, the Sheriff's Department, and all your local police stations in the state of New Jersey or any other state, all right, all get collective contracts. Every time they pick somebody up, they get a cut of the money. Okay, it's all in cahoots. And the funny part about it is the judge, the sheriff, and all her little minions, these little criminals, all right, and all these cops, they all swore an oath to the Constitution, and they're violating it every day when they have those child support sweeps. So every time you read that in the paper, oh, New Jersey had a child support sweep, whatever state, guess what? When you see they've collected, we'll just say 2 million bucks. That money's going to the judge, home. That ain't going to no kids. I mean, it's going to the kids, don't get me wrong, but they get federally reimbursed on their performance. All right? They work for the federal government. They have to perform. They're under contract. All right? But the main profiteer out of these fraudulent actions are the judge impersonators. So all the judges impersonators in New Jersey, all right, you need to be arresting these people, all right, and slapping them in a cage and feed them, like I said, bread and water, and just let them die, all right, because they are criminals. But yet they're sitting here extorting money from you under fraudulent inducement, under threat, duress, and coercion, and yet they have this word honorable in front of their name. I wipe my ass with that. So from me to all the New Jersey judges, Supreme Court, whatever, fuck you. I hope you get hit by a truck. You're criminals. All right? Hunt them down, fellas, and put them in a cage. All right? Stop going to these non-judicial hearings. Stop going to these quasi-judicial hearings. Stop. If you all stop, they shut down. They shut down, problem solved. Okay? But we know that's not going to happen. Why? Well, there's that little bitch sitting in. Okay? I am the Amen Osiris, God of Law. You can be free. Give me a call or hit me up on the website. Hotep.